stream on YouTube, and it's gonna do its
Well,
thingy.
we were.
And then you can see us doodling. So sorry.
Yeah,
you
you
can't.
feel free to, if you can, feel free to add drawings to.
I think I might be able to actually if I get my iPad.
I do have
you
a
just
funny
have to go to
story
the-
about Meridian and how I found Meridian.
Oh,
I do. Yeah,
Oh!
I can tell it real quick if you
I
guys want
must
to know.
hear.
All
I
right,
must hear.
so I tried to go to Lightbox right before COVID because I think they just had their first Lightbox thing like in 2019 or something, or 2018.
oh
and,
yeah.
and I've known Bobby for a long time. And then I couldn't go that first year or whatever, and then I did the online COVID thing, and I
Oh, yeah.
like I got the bag and stuff. And then afterwards, when it went live, I was like, okay, and I was trying to go, but every year I was doing something else, like Hennessy or whatever.
Mhm.
And then last year, I decided to go through when they were posting on their YouTube channel videos of people talking.
Oh yeah.
And then I saw your video when you were in the room, you were doing a talk, and I just clicked on it, right? And I started listening. And I was like, oh my god, it's like I'm listening to like my friend, myself. It's like my friend over here. And I just kept listening. And I was like, this is like the best thing I've heard. It's literally like one of the best conversations I've heard in so long. And I'm just like, yeah, and
Mhm.
I listened to the whole thing. And then I was just like, this person is like fucking awesome. Sure, I don't know.
Aw.
I really want to cuss, man, but I'm trying to be good. And then that's when I think I reached out to you on LinkedIn. I was like, oh, I love the project. And then afterwards, I started looking into your Kickstarter because I think it was somewhere, it was a post or something. And I was like, this
Yeah.
girl's like killing it. And then when I joined Taffy to do the whole thing, I was like,
Mhm.
we have to make sure that they bring their project, that somebody comes over and
Yeah.
talks about it. We have to. So yeah, that's my Meridian
That was
story.
such a great time at Taffy. I'm so glad you invited me.
Yes.
Like that was such a great time, and we had the best time. And
Awesome.
yeah.
I love it. And Annie was so good and patient with me because she was like, did I miss the information that, like the information, but everything? No, trust me, you're good. It's the other end over here. We're just trying to put it all together. You're good.
I was so scared. I was like, I was like telling Meridian every time. I was like, am I being annoying?
No, you're totally, that was awesome though. I was just like, oh my god, she's so good. It's better that than the other one where it's like I have to find people. I'm like, are you like still alive?
It's better to have someone who is over proactive than chasing people down.
Absolutely. Well,
yeah, I was like, am I being annoying?
Yeah. It's a real pleasure to have you guys join us. We're gonna talk all about you because we wanna put attention on you and celebrate you. Celebrate you guys. That's it. So in a nutshell, our Discord community is really to promote all of the people in animation to stick together, to help each other, to find each other if they need to, bring their cats, and then
help each other climb that ladder.
Yeah, and just that's the community part. And then the platform part, which is our working MVP still. We're still building it. We haven't fully launched it to onboard people. It's not for Gen AI stuff. If somebody goes on there and sees some samples, it's because it's a work in progress demo. But it is humans making animation only platform. So we are going to populate it with creatives, with distribution, with people who want to license, all the people who want everything to do with people who are making IPs, who want to license it in like 50 different ways. And it's all about just building an infrastructure where people can have discovery and they can have that connection remotely, because as much as we all love traveling to events, they're expensive, they happen once a year, then every other month there's a different event, and prepping and going and networking, it's a huge thing. So while it's all great and fun, executing and doing the actual business of it, that's what the infrastructure, that's what we're doing with TAP. And so yeah, that's where we're at. So one of the things we want the platform to offer is marketing for our community, because marketing is the most important thing, right? Like uplifting and spreading the word of something, it's so important. And so yeah, like our goal is to have that be provided to especially content creators who are they just don't have the infrastructure or the funds. Yeah, that's it. That's in a nutshell. But
yeah,
that's what the podcasts are about. They're just about us hanging out with people, asking about the project, getting them to talk about it, what's important to them. And so thank you so much. We have
much appreciated.
We're gonna do quick introduction, I guess, of this is our, let me see, right there. That's, I don't know if you guys can see, but you can't see.
Yes, I can.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Excellent.
that is what we're here for today. This is it.
Planet Yane.
Yes.
Planet Yane.
And so Meridian
That's
Grey
the Spanish,
Culpepper.
the Latino version.
Yeah. And so I remember that in I remember that in your
Yane.
video. I remember in the video when you were like, "Oh, when I was quitting my coffee shop job and I walked away and my manager was calling me by my full name and
my full name.
and how much you loved it." So introducing Meridian Grey Culpepper, the creator, and Annie Castellanos, the producer. Here we are.
Right.
Welcome, guys.
Yes, welcome and thank you again. So I wanted to start with a big question, I guess. What was the moment that you realized you're not gonna wait for anyone, for someone to greenlight your future when you where when you decided to start a studio? Like, I messed up that question, but where did you decide? I'm like, I'm not waiting anymore. That's it.
I think it's funny because like I've always been impatient about everything. Like that's always been my MO is like, if people won't get it done, I will get it done. And so I feel like even when I was working in the industry, I felt like I always was wanting to see improvement in this area, and like I remember like it was maybe a year after I lost my job that I was getting my portfolio in a better place and applying to jobs. But I think that what I saw around me was like, I think in my mind, I was like, I've already done this. Like I've worked in a corporate environment and I felt like I wasn't being heard. And like, that wasn't going to change no matter where I worked. Was like that feeling I had of like, I just want to do what I want to do. And so a friend literally asked me to do some animation for his short film, just a little animation. And he said, I know you want to start a studio. This could be the first project. And I remember that he told me that, and I really respected him. And I remember like he believed in me, and that's actually all I needed, was like for someone to say like, you can do this. And then I was like, okay, here I go. And so I think like that was the moment, honestly, is when I had somebody tell me they believed in me, and then all I have to do was like go and do it. But a lot of people don't, have that. I was fortunate enough that I did have that.
That little kick in the butt, you're like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
So I have another question. Sorry, Sonia, I know you probably have a few.
No, I'm giving you the space right now.
why the name Herringbone? I'm curious.
Yeah. So Herringbone is a character that is hopefully going to be our first big IP. And so it's also the name of a stitch, Herringbone Stitch. So the character represents like change and transformation. And a lot of the stories that we want to tell is all about change and transformation, because I feel like at the end of the day, people really connect with stories about people who go through change, whether it's good or bad. And so I just wanted to center the studio on that theme of change and transformation.
Right. That's cool. So, and also when you started this is the other one. It's what was the problem that you saw in the animation industry? This could be a spicy one. What was the problem that you saw in the animation industry that you're trying to solve when you launch your studio?
I think the problem I was seeing was that business people were making decisions, not creatives. And I think that you can run a really good business and make a lot of money, but only for a certain amount of time. Because if you're not a creative, you don't understand what an audience really wants. You understand what an audience wants now. And so, like, you know, what I'm saying is when a project becomes successful, there's a saying that people say that they're going to learn all the wrong lessons. You know, they're just going to make another K-pop Demon Hunters because they think business people look at something and say, well, if this worked, let's just do it again. But as creatives and storytellers, we know why something works. It's because of many different ingredients that combine to make one thing. And the biggest thing that works is letting your director and your creatives make what they want to make. And a lot of business people don't like giving up that kind of control. I mean, you look at studios like Blumhouse, and where they just give their creators a budget and they say, we trust you, make something crazy. And they make really good money doing that, just trusting their creatives. The animation industry doesn't trust their creatives. The creatives are not in control. And so I think that's the problem I wanted to solve was, okay, well, what if we had creatives in control? What if we had creatives and we gave them business know-how? Like we gave them the business savvy, because once creatives have that business savvy, the executives, they're going to not have a purpose. So I think like that was my goal, was democratizing how you run a studio. And so with Herringbone, that's what I wanted to do, was introduce people to, this is how you create IP. This is how you do a pipeline, because I think it's just putting it back into the power of the audience, because then the audience will create their own projects and show you what they want to see. And so it's kind of a way of like, I guess like feeding the audience shows you what you want, you get ideas, you know, it's like, you know, it's more collaborative than I think business people want to admit when it comes to animation.
But and with that, like what did you take that worked in the studio environment that you're working with your colleagues and whatever, what did you take from it that you're bringing into Herringbone that you wanted to flourish?
Yeah, I mean, NIEs can speak to a lot of this too. A lot of the production practices we take from the industry, a lot of it is good. Like when we come to how we schedule, how you assign people their assignments and how you roll them off, there are things that just work. Like the wheel works, it's never not worked, right? I think one of the biggest things that for us does work too is we believe in the power of iteration for a story. Now, we're not making a film 8 times. That's a waste of resources. But we do agree that when a script is written, that we need to see it up there for it to know what works and then to redo it a couple times. But the difference with us is that we allow only 2 times to redo it because it pressures people to get it right. If you give them a limit,
So
you need to put the boundaries in.
So do you? So is the iteration for you in the 2 times? Is that in animatic? Is that kind of all around rule?
Animatic.
Okay.
Yeah, that's animatic. You know, I mean, obviously you see studios that spend millions and millions of dollars in the development phase because they greenlight ideas and not stories. That is the biggest problem with the animation industry, is we like a concept because it sounds fun, but there's no story there. And so then you spend maybe 3 years trying to search for a story, but you're really burning a lot of money while trying to do that. And so what we do at Herringbone, especially right now, because we have people pitching short films that we're going to make, we're very straightforward during the pitching process. And we say, you need to have your theme be structured like this, and we need to see a complete story. We're not here to help you figure out the story. We're here to help you refine the story. And so that has proven very good for us as a studio, because also we need to understand, like, we don't have the resources to do it over and over and over. And honestly, in my opinion, like, you either know a story is great or you don't. Like, can we not like keep cooking something that does not delicious in the first place? So, you know, that's for us has worked.
So do you prefer then people bringing in multiple ideas that are, I wouldn't say like maybe they're established in its clarity, but maybe unfinished scripts, but the outline is clear, the Bible is there, and they bring you like multiple options versus just the one really finished, polished thing that people are obsessing over.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some people or like ideas that have come in, and that's actually not the problem. The problem really is when people come with ideas that are just that, they're ideas, they're not stories. I think people fall in love with visuals, or they fall in love with maybe parts of a story, but I see things from a top view, a bird's eye view. That's my natural go-to as a storyteller. And when 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, I don't greenlight it. Like, I think that you know, for me, and this is something I really believe in when I tell a story, is a theme has to be your thesis of what you say. And I think sometimes people are like, what's the theme? And they're like, family. I'm like, that's not a theme. And a theme is an argument. Like and we say that actually, I think, and I used to remember we outlined that in our pitch guide. I said, your theme cannot be something, it has to have an opinion upon itself. That has to be your theme. So not family, but you know, family will be there for you sometimes, but sometimes they're not. That's an opinion. Or like, you know, family is more important than maybe sometimes your friends. Like that, it needs to be specific. And that's what I look for in really good pitches, is like it has something. And because a short film is an argument for your thesis. Like, that's how I look at it. And so if you don't have a great thesis to start off with, why would I read your paper? So, yeah.
So for your collection with Planet Jane, which is 5 episodes, correct?
Yeah, so it's going to be 5 short films that are like an anthology. Right. So each are totally different, independent. Yeah.
And is this how both of you have been able to essentially put that together through the process of people submitting, or did you have to go and find these specific creators because you had reasons that you were targeting specific ones, or how did you?
We tapped shoulders for this one because we knew we would be overwhelmed if we opened it up for submissions. We don't have the resources to go through hundreds of submissions. We're still so early. And honestly, when you're building a business, when you're building a project, you have to be very careful who you bring on in the early stages. Not to say that people are bad people inherently, but some people, they don't work well when you're trying to build the ship while driving it. And that's okay. And there are some people who may be very experienced, but they want to come in and control everything because they think that I'm going to teach you a thing or two. I don't hire those people either. So you have to be very careful about who you choose. And that's why we approach people, is because we want to approach people who we genuinely want to work with, who gets what we're doing. You know, but we hope to in the future be a little bit more like out there. But even studios, Pixar does not go, hey, does anyone have an idea? Like, so we don't want to like, you know, have that approach because we want to surprise people, and you know, like that's part of it. So
that's really cool. I never thought of it that way, to be honest. I always felt like people there's not a lot of people who are willing to come forward if you were to put a posting. If there was,
that's not our problem.
If there was a lot of criteria to check off, like I feel like it has to check off so many things. People will still try to submit something that doesn't check off. But yes, you're right. Like filtering through so much content. Yes, you're right. I mean, I went through 80 submissions myself, so I know what that means.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, 100%. So essentially, talking back a little bit about, you know, Planet Jane and the fact that you released the animatic on YouTube. First of all, do you want us to watch the 10-minute animatic?
Do we want to watch it?
It's up to you guys. Or we can just say, you know what?
Or put
the link is on the LinkedIn page, that on the Herringbone LinkedIn page.
You know what? We're gonna watch it. Let's watch it.
We're gonna watch it
because I feel like that's the best way to have a discussion. It needs to be fresh in my mind.
Excellent.
It is. So true.
I'll mute myself so I don't start.
So you don't start dying quietly. I'm just kidding.
Oh, how dare
I
you,
will
madam?
definitely start like sneezing and coughing because I'm feeling old. Anyways, let me just double check that the sound is on. We're all good. I think the sound is on. Let's see. Yay, it's playing. Oh, is it?
Audio's not in.
Here we are.
Boom. Brutal.
Yeah.
No, Kitty. Hi, Kitty. But you would not do that to your kitty, right?
I would not.
Those sound effects at the end. Ooh,
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
crunchy, pretty crunchy.
feel it in my bones.
It's like a gusher.
Crunchy gusher.
Oh, you had a good team for story. You had
Yeah.
quite a team. Three
Yeah.
artists, 4 web artists.
That's funny. Nobody looks. It's sad when you go to movie theaters. Nobody cares about the credits, and I'm always like,
Oh,
who
we
I'm always
watch.
does
like,
this
We
film?
watch them until the end. All
All
of
I
us.
to
like
the end.
pointing. Yeah.
My
I
kids love it now. They're like, wait, we can't leave until we see the credits.
Uh-huh.
Good.
Yeah, we watch.
I always stay to the end.
Sparkling
Awesome.
Herringbone. Music. Okay.
Very nice.
Wow, you got Kristen Lester there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
So it's funny, like, I mean, the first comment that was made on that was, if you can scroll to the bottom, it says, "This is not a film yet. Keep working."
I saw that and I was
And
like,
I was
who
like-
wrote this and why?
I
And
was like, thanks. I was
I
like,
remember
thank
seeing
you.
it. I remember
I was-
seeing that comment, yeah.
Yeah, I was like on my
Yeah.
way to tell my team we didn't make a film. Like,
By the way,
Thanks for the info.
guys, we didn't do it.
I don't think they read the animatic.
Well, I think that, but this person I think is an animation, so I thought that was a strange comment to make. But anyways, I think it's like it took so much work, and then for that to be the first comment, I was like, okay, like that's awesome. But it was funny because a lot of people, what they said too was, why didn't the bear eat Jane? That was the big one that people are like, that would have made more sense in the story, which I thought is like a good discussion because like it was, because it's one of those things, like I didn't want to answer it because like that's what art's supposed to be. It's supposed to like prompt discussion and like what you feel about it. So I didn't want to like answer it because I was like, oh, I'd rather you talk about it because I think it's important. You know, like when I watch something, I always have questions and stuff like that. So I wanted to allow people the space to like also like ask questions and be critical. So
And,
Yeah.
Fun.
and how did you, and just asking, but you work dynamic together. So Annie
Yeah.
and yourself, how did you work together on from the beginning stages until where you're at now? How much did you share with letting Annie make decisions as a producer?
Well, Annie can share about how she hopped on. She volunteered herself. She told me, I'm your producer, but she can tell you about that.
So
Yeah.
I didn't hop on and say I'm a producer. I didn't do a hostile takeover like how Meridian would say. I saw an Instagram post and I just hopped on from Wandala, which was a crazy production in itself, to a feature film, which in itself is not as crazy, but it's crazy, and it's like in production or in like development production stages. It was transitioning from that, but a lot of my workload changed from being in all departments to just one, and I realized, man, I'm a workaholic. Uh, because
Surprise.
a lot, yeah, surprise, a production person, a workaholic. And so I saw her post. This was when the trailer was happening, that like, hey, we need help. And she posted it like, you're not gonna get paid, it's all volunteer work. And like, I worked with Meridian on one episode on Wandala. And then I never saw her again. I keep telling Meridian that she was supposed to be on my team, and then I never saw her back.
There were fights. People wanted me. What could I do?
There were fights. And so then afterwards, I was just like, I can hop on. I can help out on production and everything. I'll be a coordinator. I can be part-time. Like that's what I'm doing now. and like I can help organize things. I can help do a lot. Like I can help like get from point A to point B. Like just let me know, and I would love to meet your producer.
Yeah.
So as we started getting into this, I slowly then started to realize how much of the producer work she put on herself. And I started telling her, like, you know, that like it's supposed to be like producer and director partnership, right? Like, um, it's not supposed to be like you do everything, you do all the decision making and everything. Like the producer is supposed to be like your wall so that then you can do everything creatively. Um, and like they are doing all of the business stuff because that is what they taught me in production. Um, and she was just like, what? And so then I told her, I was like, look, like I totally don't want to overstep or anything. And I totally understand like there's decisions that you and your producer have to make. This is I'm just concerned because like if your producer isn't here willingly to make the decisions and you're making the decisions, then there is like some balance that you and your producer need to work out.
Mhm.
So, and I was like, and that's a conversation between you and your producer. So I think she had a conversation with her producer. And then 2 days later, I think I was watching Sunday Night Football in like with my family, and I get a text message saying, "Do you want to be my producer?"
Nice.
Awesome.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, what? Sure."
That's fantastic.
Uh,
That's how it
so
works.
yeah,
Mhm.
and that's how I became the producer of Planet Jane.
Mhm.
Cool. And are you guys, when you looked and, as you said, tapped shoulders with the other possible or the other people that you were looking to make the other episodes with, so did you look at that together? Did you share that kind of like decision-making process? Me
Mm.
being a director, I
Yeah.
had to share a lot with my producer, which I was happy to.
Yeah.
So,
Well, after we did Planet Jane, essentially, like we were probably in it like a year in it. And at that point, I think I just realized I worked really well with Anais. We're both very direct and we worked really well because she was like the opposite of being super obsessed about everything I don't care about. And I was super obsessed about things that maybe she didn't care about. And that's exactly what you want in a producer and a director. And so she essentially became head of production for the studio. And because I was like, I want to continue making shorts. And so we essentially now share it, you know. So when
Mm.
someone is pitching, we're both in the meeting, we
yes.
both give notes, we both discuss with each other, we both so we're essentially like, you know, partners in pretty much everything we do now because I just
Yes.
it's not good for one person just to take over everything. It's a lot of pressure,
Yeah.
but also like creatively you can get bottlenecked and not have like someone there to like actually disagree with you and offer a different perspective. Hmm.
Exactly. And then that becomes also the support where you support each other. So I felt
Yeah.
like once you have that good match with a producer who becomes your partner, then the support
Hmm.
is there. And then also, while you're focusing on one thing in the conversation, and they could be focusing on a different side of the
Exactly. They're
problem.
thinking something
Exactly.
totally different while we're listening to the same thing,
Yes.
which is why it's like
Yeah.
together we make a complete production,
Yeah.
you know, and like it's great because we can fight with each other and know at the end of the fight
Mm.
that we will work it out. I think that's the best thing about our working relationship is that we're both emotionally mature enough to be like to say what we see and like raise red flags and then like at the end of it we have a solution and a way forward every single time. And so, you know, that's just what I appreciate about our working relationship. And I think too, like, you know, we both are like mids in the industry, I'd say, like mid in terms of our experience. And I think that we've seen enough though to know what we don't want to be. And so we're really just trying to be the change we want to see in production, like encouraging open communication, and encouraging things that we wish we had on production, but at the same time trying to encourage people that are maybe coming in for the first time in the industry through Herringbone. We want to also encourage and train up professionalism and industry standard production practices, because wherever they go next, we just want them to be well prepared. So we try and do both,
And so your pipeline currently is 2D, right? And so
currently.
Yeah. And so you're essentially looking to keep doing 2D for now. And are you looking to do a hybrid, maybe try CG? I know it's more
So
commitment with CG.
we've actually been, it's funny you say that because a lot of our future projects require hybrid models. So a lot of them, it's been fun talking with other producers of the projects and seeing like it's their sort of like play mode of like, this is what worked best in my years of experience in the industry. And with the way that like I've never worked in a studio that's had a functioning pipeline. So with the ease of how every like model can be built with just the simple building blocks of what a regular studio can have, it's so much fun talking with a lot of different producers here and there and seeing like, oh, if this is how it used to work in the industry, maybe we can actually scale it down or scale it to work for indie models. And maybe we can change a little bit here and there so that we can still keep the feature quality, but at least we can try and like scale it down to work for us.
And sorry, go on. I tend to interrupt.
And so like one of them is in our feature ones, we have like a stop motion one. So we're working we're working with Gareth Owens, he's been working in stop motion production for longer than I've been alive, to be quite honest. And he's been talking, like him and I have been going back and forth of like how we can sort of mesh the two worlds together. And it's honestly like I've learned from him, but he's also learning from me. And never in a million years did I think like a 26-year-old would be teaching someone as like so experienced in the stop motion world of like that like he's just like, oh, I've never thought about doing it this way. And I've never like he's teaching me things that I was just like, oh my God, I've never thought about this way. So it's like it's so much fun just getting like the building blocks. And it's the thing of like how Meridian was saying that like nothing's broken essentially from the studio pipeline that like we've been taught, because we use it every day, but it can be rearranged and it can be created to indie levels that we just want to teach everyone, whoever like walks into like Herringbone and being like, we can at least be the middle ground of both indie and studio. I think is what we're trying to be.
And for the remote, I guess your setup. So I know a bunch of us use Flow, ShotGrid, Shotgun. I don't know what they're naming it next, but there's that.
Yeah, they keep changing it all the time.
Or I mean,
they change it like every 1 year, every like 1 or 2 years.
So is that something you use, or how do you use your what do you use for your infrastructure, for your storage?
We use like Google Drive and like Google Docs. There's nothing better than a good old Google Docs and Google Drive.
Simple.
Super simple.
It's super simple. There are times that like every now and then I get like mini panic attacks of, are we secure enough? But like we're so small that I don't even think we're like on anyone's radar sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's my like 3 a.m. sleep paralysis demons that like talk to me every now and then.
Yeah. And so for
So
stop motion is a very different schedule. It takes
It's a
longer
different beast.
usually. It's a different
it
Yeah.
beast.
takes longer,
Yeah.
but it's the way that it's funny because the way that Garrett scheduled it, his schedule is actually shorter than our 2D schedules.
Wow.
So it's actually like when I was doing the actual figuring out of the schedules between like Mako and Hall and like Planet Jane, if we were actually going to like fully animate some of these, I think like we were in line with like Planet Jane and Hall were in line to be together, but I think Mako, because we're doing the whole thing from start to finish, that one was going to take a little bit longer. And with Mako as well, we're also thinking about doing a 2D hybrid sort of thing, but it's still mainly going to be 2D. The only 3D part was going to be like water simulations, and then we were going to
Wow.
try to do basically 2D over it because we just needed to get that water that we really wanted it. Everyone knows water is hard to animate.
Yeah.
So
A
we
lot of
just
fire
wanted to
smoke.
be like, yeah, we just wanted to be like perfect as possible. So we were going to try and get like someone who we trusted to get like previs done so that then afterwards we would have someone to then fully animate it in keyframes 2D and they would have some reference.
Right. And so for the 3D, I know there's a lot of people right now doing draw overs in Blender. So
Yeah.
they'll build things in Blender and then do a fully finished
Mm.
painting, line art. Is that what you're
Yeah.
going for or something different?
We were going to try and go for that
Hmm.
kind of model of like trying to see if we can go because Blender is free, so we were gonna try and use that, but we know that sometimes people we need to like get the actual like people that work on it and we need the experience of it. So it's also the we just need to see who's experienced enough to do it correctly. Because I will always remember someone, and it's the VFX supervisor. He was like one of the first VFX supervisors that I worked under. And it stuck with me. If you don't do it right, people will notice.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just always stuck with me as a production person that if I don't do it right, and if they don't do it right, and we don't get someone who does it right, it will notice. Like people will notice that it's like wrong. Um, so it's just one of the things that like we're being very careful on our selection of who we get for that.
Cool. Yeah, I met a
Right.
fantastic artist last year at NFC. His name is Andrew Deduce. He's very huge in that style community. Blender drawing on top Blender. He does a lot of commercial work that um, I can shoot you guys a link to his Instagram later in contact. He's one of those people who actually knows and has a pipeline for it. He's fantastic. But speaking of Annecy, have you guys considered going and promoting Herringbone and Annecy at all, or are you thinking maybe in the future, or do you think it's not really something that you need at at this point?
Maybe.
We applied to the MIFA, the like project pitch, and we were rejected, which was fine. But
Oh.
I think that nowadays, I don't know if a flight to France and paying all that money is like really going to be worth it in terms of the way that networking is now, and you can connect with people virtually, and people aren't buying anything. So I don't think our
Yeah.
audience is at Annecy. They're on the internet. So
Yeah,
I'm more concerned with that. That's
yeah.
my take.
Anything to add,
Uh,
Annie?
I think that it would be nice one day. I just don't think right now it's possible. I I did say to Meridian that I do want to go one day, just not for that,
Yeah.
because I've heard tales of their cheese.
Well,
Yes.
there's yeah, the raclette, the melting cheese
Mhm.
Yes,
with the goodies.
I've
Yeah.
heard I've heard tales of their cheese, and I am a foodie at heart. But I'm with Meridian that like there are now ways to like meet people. I do still love the old way of meeting people, of like meeting them in person and everything. I just think though that there are more ways to meet other people and not go to Annecy.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
like, there are other smaller events here and there. Like we got invited again somehow to go to Lightbox. So we're gonna be
Yeah.
meeting people again in Lightbox.
Oh,
And
that's gonna be cool.
uh we met you guys through Taffy, so that was pretty amazing. And they're like those little like times of meeting in person, those are amazing and I do still value them. It's just that going all the way over there, especially when sometimes you can just do the same thing in person, or even like just meeting people through like things offered by like the Animation Guild, that are just like free meet and greets here and there that I know because I sometimes follow them online.
Mhm.
It's like you sometimes don't have to go on a plane ride just to go over there. Like
Absolutely.
there are plenty of like free events that are locally here that you can just go.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's totally fair. The only magical cool thing if you guys do go for yourselves is, surprisingly, there's a lot of people that come to watch the actual screenings as families. So you'll see a lot of younger kids and teenagers and parents
Mhm.
coming with them, and they're super excited and hyped about screenings, and that's really cool for me to see where I'm like, wow, people want to go
Mhm.
see stuff, yay. And actually a few of indie creators, Alice Mao, I believe, Heartbreak Studio
Yeah,
based out of
Alice.
LA.
Yeah.
Her and a few other people, they're actually doing a private screening of their shorts at Annecy, which I thought was really
Yeah.
cool that they're doing
Fantasy
that.
Reject. Yeah.
That's
Mm.
totally cool. I mean, honestly, our short film never got in. So that's totally
Hmm.
fine. It's just cool to see artists come together as well.
Mhm.
And definitely, also wanted to offer to you guys Spark. Spark Festival happens in Vancouver around
Mm.
November. So a lot of people from California tend to come there as well. And it's a small, like size, like taffy, smaller event. But
Mhm.
again, could be interesting if you
Mhm.
guys are interested in looking more like close nearby. For your, I know you guys are, you have the Instagram presence, and then you had the Kickstarter, and then you have a healthy following on YouTube. You have, you know, pretty good,
Yeah, good.
9.45K subscribers. That's awesome. How are
Yeah.
you? Yeah, like how are you feeling about essentially marketing the content so far? Is like what is the goal with your marketing, I guess, so far?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know that. We're trying to figure it out because really what we're making right now is animatics.
Hmm.
So it's hard to market something that to most people looks unfinished. And so I'm not really in a place, honestly, maybe I should be more concerned with marketing. But I'm really not, because our goal with Fables, at least, is just to make all of the episodes in animatics and then get funding to finish all of them for one season. So I'm actually, in my mind, still in development. So I'm not really like, we're done, let's market it. But it's kind of cool that we're going about it in a way that is growing hype for the series by releasing all of the animatics.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is definitely the slower game, but I think it's for us the smart game, I think. So I'm not trying to like get too crazy because it's just about getting the right people to look at it, not fans. I'm trying to get producers and distributors to look at it. So for me, I'm more focused on making a really good quality piece of work. than marketing. But I do get very insecure because some of these indie studios are so good at marketing and they have like thousands and thousands of followers, but that's like it's just I don't know, it's not what we're doing right now. So
Yeah.
No, it sounds like you do have a marketing plan after all. So you are
yeah.
very focused and you guys have a very clear goal. And
Yeah.
so your content is directed towards it. So that's really
I had a
smart, I think. Yeah, sorry, Jose. Please go.
I
You
had
know
a
I'm a
question
hogger.
about
The
like
worst.
I know.
I
That's okay.
know.
When I
I'm done.
do, I just interrupt and I ask my questions. That's how it works. I was pretty good at that. I had a question about Kickstarter.
Mm.
Um what was the what was that Kickstarter journey like? And like
Hated it. I'm not even gonna lie to
okay,
you.
tell me
I don't
more.
want to do it
Tell me
again.
more. You don't want to do it
Yeah.
again?
No, I don't because that was so stressful. And at the end of the day, I feel like I just want money to make it. I don't want to give you things. God, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
like
because it is a lot of work. You
It's a
gotta
job.
it's
make
a
it and
lot of
then you're
work and
like
all
it's
that
stressed,
money.
yeah.
Kickstarter takes 8 to 12% of it, and then it
What?
goes,
Right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kickstarter takes a fee, and then you got to get everyone their merch and rewards, which like you're not even using all the money towards the project. And for me, marketing it was like it was really hard. I didn't know what I was doing. If I could do it again, I'd do it so differently. So like that's fair. But I really
Okay.
think as a long-term business strategy, no, like would
Okay.
not do it again. I feel like that there are better ways for us to earn a steady income, and that's what we're focusing on now is actually being a business and not relying on Kickstarters. I think
Right.
maybe we'll do one after we have the fan base, but right now
Gotcha.
because we're building, it's just it was so stressful. I cannot believe I raised the money. I have to be totally honest. I was like, I don't know if these people are thinking giving me this money, but like it was just yeah, I was grateful that it got me to where we are. We stretched that like really
Yeah.
far, and I'm grateful. But
Yeah.
you know, now we're gearing up to start doing workshops for the spring and the fall, and teaching people
Awesome.
how to do this all themselves. You
Yes,
know,
that's a great.
but like not in a way that's like a couple sessions and like very deliberate feedback sessions with a Discord where we provide feedback on their pitches and give them actual practicals. Because we did like 2 or 3 workshops that were experimental and that people really really learned a
Hmm.
lot from them, and we're like let's just expand it because people wanted more classes. They
Right.
felt like it was too short. So that's what we're going to focus on now, which will be our bridge to sort of like, okay, now we can put it into our next episode and we can
Okay.
commit this much to Lightbox stuff and this much to this. So we're trying to, yeah, do that right now until one day I think that we'll have a really nice catalog of animatics and people will be like, this stuff is really, because if people respond well to an animatic, you know you got something good. Is if just
Yeah.
in its animatic form, people get it, they understand it, and it moves them emotionally.
Well,
Then that's all you need, and
you're
that
telling the
was why.
story.
Yeah, with Planet Jane, like no, it hasn't popped off because it's an animatic, and it's like no one knows what it is. But everyone who's watched it has understood exactly what it was, and we're entertained.
Except for that one person.
as a filmmaker, that's like all you want.
Yeah,
Exactly.
except for
Yeah,
that one
yeah.
person.
So
Yeah,
except for
exactly.
that one person. Yeah. Did you find that the audience shaped the project in any unexpected ways, or did you let them actually
Nope.
have anything? It was like, boom, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah,
You either you
nah.
like it or you don't.
Actually, no, I think there was. This is actually coming from a production standpoint. She's gonna say no, but I actually do think
Oh,
subconsciously
argument. Let's
there
hear it.
Uh-oh.
subconsciously there was actually she doesn't see it, but I actually, because production takes notes, subconsciously I do, there was a shift. So the
Well, we had a
final,
screening and I wanted
well,
feedback. That's
yes,
different.
but that's what he's saying, that like if the audience changed anything from Planet Jane.
Oh, I thought
And
you meant
like,
like audience like our
Like,
fans versus people in the
no,
screening.
like just in
Oh,
general, like
no.
audience and
Sorry. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
and like I do think that like a lot of, because we did screenings and everything but for Planet Jane, and I do think a lot of it, our original like animatic was, I think, 12 minutes,
Yeah.
and we cut it down to I think
8.
9 or something, 8. was our final one. So it was shortened down a lot. And I do remember the first time watching it, like everyone, like in the Netflix pitch club, because that was like the one we were trying to go for, which was the one we got like a bunch of notes on. Everyone like stood silent for a minute at the
Yeah,
end,
really awkward.
and it was like pretty awkward. But then like we kind of knew that like the ending was great, but like we also had to like fix things. So like there
Yeah.
was always like a switch from the original one to like the end. The whole message still stayed the same, but
Yeah.
there was like
Well, the
tweaking
ending's
here and
exactly the
there.
same. The ending's
Yeah,
exactly the
like the
yes.
Didn't
message
change.
and the ending didn't change, but like
Did
there
not.
were tweaks here and there that I
It
think
was the
made,
setup people
yeah,
had. I think what was happening was in my mind, I was still thinking Disney and Pixar. So what I had was a Disney Pixar short that all of a sudden had this really dark ending, and people were like, where did that come from? And
Right.
essentially I got the note, which stuck with me, was like, just commit to it. You're making a freaky dark film. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna commit to it. And that's what I did. I was like, beginning to end, I'm making something weird, and some people are gonna hate it, but I just have to do it. So that's
Yeah.
what I got from the screening.
So I wanted to add this question too, is like, what lesson did you find from doing Planet Jane that you will take on in the future projects that you're going to be doing? That you went like, oh, this works so well. I really need to incorporate this going forward.
Well, Planet Jane did not have a script, so next time I will have one.
You did not have a script?
No, we didn't.
That's pretty.
We had vibes.
I I also say that we are also going to be implementing shot codes and sequences. We did
Yes.
not have shot codes and sequences.
No.
Mm.
That must have been
Planet
fun.
Jane was the guinea pig,
Yeah.
okay?
No
That's what you
shot
need to do
codes.
though.
Oh, I think my body
Yeah,
just jittered inside a little
I
bit.
know.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Trust
but we
me,
definitely near the end we definitely like turned it around. Like we got everything we needed by the end, but it was this
trust me,
process to
towards
get
the end, I was hitting my head against the wall.
Oh no.
Well, you're
Um,
definitely gonna label them once you go full production.
yeah,
I
So,
mean,
I
yeah.
can label him once they go full
Yeah.
production.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
again,
So
2 passes or no?
we did it in
I think 3.
3
With
passes.
no script.
No, no
Wow.
script.
No, no
That's pretty
script, no shot
admirable.
code,
That's awesome.
no.
So
It
like
was honestly just vibes. Like I
so
don't
like
know how else to.
like one sentence per like sequence or like
Well, what I did with my team now, that's not to say I like gave them nothing. No, no, no. Like I went in there with my story team, and I had note cards of all the beats, and I said, "Here's the order of the beats." And then we came up with ideas of how to hit the beats. And it was a lot more interactive and essentially me saying, here's what happens in this scene. Here's what Jane needs to feel. How can we get her there? And so
Mm.
it was more collaborative, honestly, because the story was coming from such a personal and deep place that I was coming at it sort of a more guerrilla filmmaking style. But I'm really lucky I had the story artists I did, because I hired them because they saw the vision and they understood what I was trying to do. And I just appreciated them. I knew when I told them like what I wanted, that they would deliver it. And so but really that was, yeah, no script. We kind of just looked at some note cards on the wall, and I gave them assignments, and honestly, like that was my first time. I've never directed like that. I've never like whatever, but for a first time, I think it turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
absolutely.
But obviously there's so many things I would change about my leadership style, about how I speak, about how I assign things. Like, of course, there's like so many things I would do different, but I think overall it went really well for our first one. I will say that.
I mean, that
Yeah.
is how they used to board on movies. And I mean, at least Disney,
Yeah.
that's how they did it. That's how we learn in our
Yeah.
story, my story course, at least at Sheridan, we did it this way as well. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the bare bones like you have like you
Yeah.
said, the cards with the script, the beats were like
Yeah.
the most important thing.
Well, because
Yeah.
I knew there was going to be no dialogue from the beginning. So to me, a script was like kind of pointless, to be honest. I was like,
Right.
we're just describing things at this point, and I'd rather just like collaborate and people can bring their ideas of what this means. And I appreciated all the notes at the screening that we did. They were all spot on, and I'm proud to say we addressed every single note, but like in a way that we felt like was appropriate. And definitely, if you can believe it, the original version did not have Jane feeding the beast animals at all.
Oh.
And essentially, people were like, I feel like it doesn't escalate. They were like, there was no escalation. Like, it didn't get worse. It was just her feeding him food.
Right.
And I was like, we need to escalate it. What's worse? Feeding animals. Because it's the very thing that she loves. So that was a change that I made, was like, that is like, it turned into like the heart of the whole thing was essentially her, the thing she loves, giving it over to the beasts and it growing to this enormous size. And, like I said earlier, people were very much like, why didn't the beast eat her? And I'm like, because that would be a satisfying ending. And that's not
What
what the
everybody's
ending I
expecting.
wanted.
Yeah.
It's because that's not what the industry did to me. The industry took from me and then left me.
I
They didn't
didn't
eat
even
me.
feel like I needed to eat Jane at all. I was like, oh, okay, left, cool, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I said, you don't have anything left. I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's what the industry does to you.
So that's your personal story for this.
Yeah, it's my
particular,
personal
yeah.
experience. So I was like, and honestly, I know it's unsatisfying, but it elicits more emotion. It does.
Yeah.
To see her alone there, her becoming the beast, I think is
Right.
more impactful emotionally. So
Yeah. I was gonna ask that, but we're at 9:10 almost, so I don't know if we should have more questions.
Yeah,
Or
I feel like this could never end,
it's
this conversation.
yeah,
This
this
is
I
could
really
never end.
powerful, really
Well, you know
powerful
what I
stuff.
wanted, what we would love to do though is have you back at one point and see what your journey is like. We would love to see more of that journey, like, in months, half a year, or whatever it is, and come
yeah,
back and see where you are, because these are awesome journeys that we take as creators, right? That
yeah,
we make our mistakes and we learn from them. And the thing is that, and one of the things that I keep telling our community too is like, we need to make those mistakes in order to know how to be better in the future or
yeah,
moving forward on our projects, because everybody works different. So whatever works for you,
mhm,
not gonna work for me. And
yeah,
we need to have that conversation with everybody because they're so afraid of taking that first step.
yeah.
So I wanted to ask you before you guys leave, what would you tell creators that are have something in the back of their head and I really want to create this, but I'm so afraid. I'm so
Mm-hmm.
scared of putting it out there because you're putting your heart and soul
Mm-hmm.
on the internet. You know what I mean? Like you're telling your
Yeah,
personal story. What would you tell them?
I would say do it scared.
That's a
Yeah.
great.
I
It should be a
That's what I
bumper
did.
sticker. Do it scared.
There's a
Well,
I
maybe
would
not in the
say,
bumper sticker.
there's a saying in a different
yeah,
language. It says, "I'm scared while I'm doing it," or "I'm doing it while I'm being scared."
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
I would say be cringe and be free,
Yes.
Mhm.
because that is me right now.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
being cringe and I'm being free.
Yeah.
but we're doing it also. You're not alone, and this is the other part. We're not alone in this. And again, that's
Mhm.
part of why the community wanted to grow and help each other out and support each other from all this. Like your cat is doing right now, supporting you, going,
He
I
is so
love you.
upset that
your cat
attention
is
is
so
not
adorable.
on him right now.
Oh, of course, of course.
We'd also
But
love
yeah,
to. It would sorry. We'd also love to promote your courses when they'll be available.
yes,
We'll be
Oh
happy to just
yeah.
remind people in the
please.
Discord community that this is what's available. So where can people find these courses when you're gonna post them? I'm assuming it's gonna be on your LinkedIn page, the company one, and anywhere
Yeah,
else.
we'll post it on LinkedIn page and on Instagram, and I believe those posts will be next week, Anais.
Yes, so we will post them next week. You guys will see the announcements later in the week. We're still working on the graphics and everything, but you'll
Okay.
eventually see them. And I think we have it scheduled for Wednesday, but we are a small company. We are only like six
Yeah.
people. So, and a lot of us have part-time jobs or are looking for jobs. So please be kind to us.
Yeah.
So we are just trying to survive. And so it'll be on LinkedIn, it'll be on our Instagram page. It's basically going to send you to our link tree, and
Yeah.
that is where everything will be then afterwards, like all the information and everything. There'll
Mhm.
be two courses essentially. One of them, Meridian and Jamila will be hosting them, and it's everything creative. Basically, by the end of it, you'll have an animatic fully ready to pitch and a whole idea and everything. And then the other course is going to be taught by Daff and I, which by the end you'll have a full schedule, a full budget, and you'll
Nice.
be ready to go into production if said project wants to go into like full production. Afterwards, we'll also teach you guys how to like go and do marketing for your things in the production one. Um, but it's all just teaching you how to just go out into the world and try to do your own thing, because we
Mhm.
do think that a lot of people don't know what their other options are besides the traditional going into a studio.
Mhm.
But we're seeing there's a shift in the industry. We're seeing that there's a need for it. And we just want to help everyone out. Um, and we just want to see everyone grow. So,
This is how we survive. We
yeah,
help each
Mhm.
other.
Yeah. Help
Thrive.
each other.
That's how we
We
thrive.
thrive.
yeah, it's how
Thrive.
we
Thrive.
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 Perdóneme.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
El thrive. El thrive. Is
oh
that how you say
boy.
it?
All
Ah,
right.
my
So
Latino
thrive with
accent
us
coming
all
out.
together. Whoever's out there, listen. Just keep doing it.
Yep. Dale, dale.
Gonna sign us off of YouTube. Goodbye, YouTube. Thank you for
Thank you.
listening. And we had Anais Castellanos, producer of Herringbone, and Meridian Gray Culpepper, director, creator, and founder. Yes, and founder.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
until next